moaning, and of course back then it was very Italian heritage that people would actually come and mourn. I mean, they would wail in the seats.
Wow!
Startling to me as a little girl.
Capone was buried in a family plot in the Mount Olivet Cemetery in Chicago.
Well, it was a very long funeral procession, and it was a winter day, so it was a cold Chicago day, but people lined the streets. Men would take their hats off and hold them down. And I was, of course, in the car with my father in the very first car. We took the body down the streets to the south side, buried. High mass said for him in Chicago. And the media didn't know about it. They were still in Florida thinking that the body hadn't gotten on the train yet.
After his death, Deirdre and her family tried to play down their links to Al Capone, but the connection was soon causing problems.
The big Chicago papers, they came out and said the children at St. Philip Neri School made their first communion, and Deirdre, with the entire Capone family in attendance, made hers. Well, my classmates knew me as Deirdre Gabriel, but how many Deirdres do you think were in that little class of, 40 children? I was ostracized.
Deirdre lost her first job at an insurance company when she was 8. Bosses found out.
And he said, he really do. And I said, yes, he was my uncle. And he said, I'm sorry, you cannot work here. You're fine. I said, yeah, but he's dead. Yes. And he said,
Deirdre she got told about her Capone Connect.
Exhibit her controversial work in her home country, and Grace MacLean, the young Welsh novelist who describes writing as a painful addiction. So join me for Outlook Arts if you can, but the news is coming up next here on the BBC World Service.
Documentaries on the BBC World Service.
In a Japanese cabbage field, men are declaring their love for their wives.
Japanese men are too shy. We don't hold our wives' hands or give affection.
But why is it happening?
The divorce rate has been rising for most of the post-war in Japan.
Love Your Wife Day on the BBC World Service. Tuesday at 7:30 and 16:30 GMT.
You're listening to the BBC World Service.
In this week's Global Business, the